Today we'll be talking about easy tips and tricks for short riders who are maybe starting to ride their motorcycle and who might be finding it difficult to ride slightly tallish motorcycles. My height is 5'3" and this motorcycle has a seat height of 810 mm. So these are not anything magical or very revolutionary. These are simple day-to-day things that you can take care to have a good riding experience and not make too many mistakes. So these are 20 easy tips and tricks. Watch till the end to find out, and maybe you will learn a thing or two in this video. The first thing is that it's actually in the mind. You know, the fear of owning a slightly tall motorcycle or having to manage a tall, heavy motorcycle, it's mostly in the mind. You need to overcome that fear. Bike manufacturers cannot make bikes in many sizes. That's a limitation from their side. So once we have a motorcycle, get used to it, feel comfortable around it. Once you overcome that, you will have a good time with your motorcycle. So overcome that fear, convince yourself that this is a motorcycle that you have purchased, you have to live with it, you have to ride it. Don't be worried of the weight or the height of the motorcycle. That's what I always did since the past 10 years of motorcycling. The second point number 2, is that be patient and very methodical and calculative about the way you manage and own your motorcycle. So be it getting on the saddle, taking the center stand off, starting to ride off, all these things, be very calculative and methodical. Don't be in a hurry, don't be in a panic in any situation, even in traffic situation. Just consider the other possibility. If you lose your balance and fall from your motorcycle, you will create a bigger scene, you will create a traffic jam. Better than that, take 2-3 seconds extra, calculate, compute what you're going through, put it in first gear, slowly start moving, take it easy. Take it step by step. That's how we all get there. Once we keep doing this, we'll get that momentum and we'll be able to do things much more easily. And the third thing is practice with your motorcycle regularly. That means know the balance of your motorcycle, know how far you can tilt it, know the weights, know the balance, like how heavy is your motorcycle, where is it heavy, tilt it, ride it often, ride it at a very slow speed. So all this, like, get to know your motorcycle as much as possible. This way you will gain that confidence through time, and through the many rides that you take, you will get that confidence. So mostly it's about building that confidence with your motorcycle. So the next few points is about bike control and balance. So for short riders like us, what has to happen is that most of the time we'll be able to reach only the feet at one side of the bike. So what you need to remember is that one side foot always at a time. You cannot always try and reach both the sides at the same time. What will happen is you will not get proper footing at either of the side, and you might tip over the bike or an accident could happen. So what you should always try and do is reach one side with proper footing. That is better than trying to reach both sides slightly. Example, on this bike I am able to reach only flat foot one side properly at a time, and that is what I have used since the past 5 years of owning this motorcycle. I've always tried to put one solid footing at one point of time. So the fifth point is about slow speed riding. So here in this case, what you need to practice doing is find the speed of the motorcycle with the clutch fully released on a level surface. You know that this is the speed at which your motorcycle will be able to go when you are not applying any throttle or any brake. So what this will teach you is that balancing the motorcycle at such slow speed. Where this helps me personally in all my rides is when there is a traffic jam, most of the time I need not even put my feet down. Without putting my feet down, I have that slow speed balance which helps me move slowly enough or crawl slowly enough to continue riding without ever coming to a full stop. One should realize that you need to put the feet down from the motorcycle only once you come to a full stop. If you have really understood the balance of your motorcycle, you will be able to keep the feet up without stopping at very slow speeds and continue moving forward without ever keeping your feet down. So that's why I encourage you all to practice slow speed riding. Put the clutch and then try to ride as slow as possible, but without keeping the feet down. Initially, it might be a little bit tough for you. You might be keeping on going forward at a higher speed, but eventually you will get that balance to really just crawl slowly forward without ever keeping your feet down on the floor. The sixth point is about U-turns, and if you're familiar with this channel, you may have seen a lot of videos of us doing U-turns on various motorcycles that we have ridden. We think that U-turn is one of the most technical maneuvers out there, and what you need to do is Slowly take your time when taking every U-turn. You will be able to do wider U-turns without ever putting your feet down, but for tighter U-turns you might have to take it slow. Put your feet down, use your clutch, and then slowly throttle and take U-turns. Generally, since the side stand is on the left side, one might be more comfortable taking U-turns towards the left, but please practice taking U-turns from the right side also. For this, the previous point helps, like the slow throttle and slow speed balance really helps. Along with that, what you need to practice is riding in figure 8 shapes. This is something that you may have done while taking your rider's license. What you will notice is that initially when you're taking the figure 8 shapes with your motorcycle, the figure 8 will be much large, but as you get more comfortable and as you gain more balance with your motorcycle, you will feel and you will know that the figure 8 is really shrinking and you are getting the hang of the motorcycle to take those tight left turns as well as tight right turns. So essentially, you will learn how to take U-turns easily. It's okay, it's totally natural to take your time and put your feet down to take U-turns. Very tall people, very experienced riders might be able to take very tight U-turns, like pivoting the bike, much like a compass. They might be able to do that, but it's okay. We all need to take our time and practice to reach such an expert stage. Take your time, practice U-turns. So the next point is about learning how to handle your motorcycle once it's parked. Sometimes you are in a parking lot and you might have to move your motorcycle forwards and backwards. So get used to that movement, get used to that motorcycle weight, the balance of it all. And sometimes what you might have to do is move your motorcycle with the engine power itself. So start your engine, stand close to the motorcycle with your hip balancing it, and then slowly release the clutch so that the bike starts moving. So you should be able to move the motorcycle like this. Once with practice, you will be able to do this very easily, and it will help you get out of tricky situations in parking lots and all. Always be careful with the throttle and the brake. Have your brake covered and also the clutch be covered. So yeah, this is about walking the motorcycle front and back. So the 8th point is about suspension pushback technique. So in this example, right now, if I have to move the bike backwards a little bit, it is a little difficult. So what I sometimes do is that use the front brake, compress the front brake, and once it bounces back, I use that momentum along with the push of my feet to be able to move back slightly. So compress it and then release it. So the opposite of this also can very well happen. Sometimes once you come to a stop, you might use your front brake and the front brake compresses the front forks and it might bounce back. So if you're not ready with your feet placement to balance the bike, you might fall down. There are many videos out there of riders falling like this. In reversing situations, this is something that I regularly use. The suspension, I compress the front forks and then release the brake to move the bike backwards. So the next few points we are going to talk about is about parking and maneuvering. Therefore, the 9th point is about reverse parking. So do reverse parking wherever possible because it will be easier for you to exit that way. We know that parking in reverse is not always favored or not always convenient when we arrive at a place, but consider the advantage of leaving peacefully and leaving easily. It's easy to leave when you have done your hard work when you arrived itself. So we encourage reverse parking to avoid certain mishaps related to reaching the bike and being a short rider and all that. Another thing that we encourage you to do is do not park at inclines. Choose your parking spots very strategically. Meaning, if you're parking at an incline, do not park head first into the incline because when you have to leave, you might not be able to turn the bike around. Face exiting the incline so that you can use the engine power only to leave that place. So park strategically. Park at places where there is no loose gravel and all that because once you get on the bike and if you're ready to go, you might lose your footing and you might end up dropping your bike. Another thing to be careful while being strategic about your parking is not to park very tightly in between two motorcycles because you might not be able to put your motorcycle upright to be able to pull it back and leave from that parking spot. One more thing that we generally suggest you to do is that use inclines to your benefit. If you are approaching an incline, use that incline with the engine power to roll the bike back. Using the gravity itself, you will be able to roll the bike back while taking turns. And finally, a very important trick that most motorcyclists learn is the side stand pivot. Once your motorcycle is on the side stand, you can really use the weight to be able to turn the motorcycle like this. So you will see this move mostly used by service center folks. They'll be using this move all the time. They will be using even the ability to slide the bike sideways. But this is one easy maneuver that you can do to move your bike. But I wouldn't recommend doing this regularly because it could damage your side stand. Use this very conservatively so as to not damage your side stand. So point number 14 is about fueling up and having to go to petrol pumps. There are a few points here. The Main thing is that once you're done fueling, what I generally do is that I get myself out of that crowded fuel pump area. I just fill up and move away to make the payments. That is one way to avoid confusion. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of moving parts, and mistakes could happen. You could topple your bike and all that. Another aspect is that the person who might be filling might be having a long day. They might just lean on your bike. This has happened to me many times. I had lost balance once they lean on my bike without me knowing. Generally, when approaching petrol pumps, it's a very dangerous environment on its own. So there is fuel involved, there is money involved. So take your time, do it gently, do it without causing more crowd or anything. Try to avoid crowding, most easily said, so that more crowd means more complexity, more chances of error. So the next few points are related to riding with a pillion or riding with a group. When you're riding with a pillion, one thing I would always recommend a short rider to do is that whenever you need it, ask for that assistance. Sometimes you might be in a difficult situation and you're not able to reverse your bike on your own. So at that time, don't be shy. Just ask your friend to grab it from the back and help you roll the bike backward. It might be from a parking situation, it might be from a slight incline. If you're tired, don't be shy, just ask your pillion or ask your friend for that assistance. Another thing, what you could usually do is that when you're riding with a pillion and you have already seated yourself on the bike, now the pillion need to mount the motorcycle. Coordinate that mounting. So the pillion could keep their arm on your shoulder to alert you to be balanced on the motorcycle. Have that balance ready so that when they are mounting the motorcycle, you will not lose your balance or topple over or anything. So coordinate that mounting with your pillion. And lastly, the point what I would like to tell you is that when you're riding in a group, make that group be aware of your expertise level and your motorcycle. So what I'm trying to tell here is that you might be on a new motorcycle, you might be on a borrowed motorcycle, you might be having a certain level of skill. So when you're riding with a group, tell them that, hey, today I'm on a new bike, I'm not very familiar with this motorcycle. So in case you have set out for the ride and your friends are not noticing you for some time, they will instantly know, okay, he may have fallen down or he may have dropped the bike. So they'll assist you. They are aware and they are ready to assist you at that point of time. That's why I say when you're riding in a group, convey your expertise and your familiarity with that motorcycle for that day, so that your friends and your group are very much already prepared to help you in whatever situations needed. So the next few points are related to being prepared to be on the motorcycle. This one is about gearing up smartly for motorcycling. We generally say that dress for the occasion. What I generally consider as a very daily and basic riding gear is a pair of shoes, good shoes, pant, riding jacket, gloves and helmet. Why I stress on all of these is because something as simple as a shoe can help you be protected from the foot pegs itself, or even like the surfaces that you handle your motorcycle. One thing that regularly happens to me is the side stand itself hitting my toes. So this is especially painful when I'm not wearing shoes. When I'm wearing flip-flops and moving the bike around, when I'm cleaning and all, it's a very common occurrence for the side stand to be hitting my feet. To avoid all this, it's generally very advisable to cover yourself as much as possible. Not to be uncomfortable, but to be protected both from the elements as well as the harshness of riding and owning a motorcycle. The other point that I would like to talk about is the preparation or the maintenance of your motorcycle. For a short rider, even something as simple as lubing the chain as well as having the correct air pressure in the tire really helps, because if you have a low air pressure in the tire, what will happen is the bike will be all that little bit more difficult to move around. If the chain is tight, if it is not well lubed, it will still be difficult to move this motorcycle forward and backward. So preparing your motorcycle, maintaining your motorcycle is also a very good, very important part of being a short rider and maintaining and managing that motorcycle. So the last and perhaps a bonus tip for everybody is that hit the gym, have the kind of fitness that will help you ride your motorcycle longer to farther distances and to last longer on your motorcycle. It's always good to have that kind of a fitness. Be fit in general. It will help you be on the motorcycle for longer durations. One more thing I would recommend you to practice is that if you are okay with this, try putting your motorcycle onto the floor, and this will help you see what are the touch points of the motorcycle, whether the motorcycle is laying flat on the floor on its crash guards and important touch points. And lastly, This will help you to be prepared in case of a topple or in case you dropped your motorcycle. You will be prepared mentally and physically to be able to pick up your motorcycle up from where it has fallen down. If you hadn't checked it out how to lift your motorcycle up, if you have tried this, you will have that confidence to have the strength as well as, you know, the practice to lift your motorcycle up in case of any incidents. So that's it. Thank you for sticking around till the end and watching the video. Brings us to the conclusion of top 20 tips and tricks for short riders on tallish motorcycles. Hope this video has been helpful to you and it brings you a little bit more confidence and makes you a little more knowledgeable in terms of how to handle a motorcycle being a short rider. So that's it. Thank you. Have a good one.